Aloha, it's Carrie at the Womb Bookstore, and I am back with another message for you to contemplate this week. So, this week's message is interesting because it's bringing up Mercury retrograde again. Kind of like Mercury retrograde is still happening and it's affecting our week this week, and it's bringing up some things that we should think about. So, the message to contemplate this week is, what if we looked at the glass half full instead of half empty? And when I'm talking about glass, I'm talking about all the emotions that we're feeling right now. According to the cards that I have pulled, there's a lot of emotions going on. We're very sensitive. We're in our feelings right now, and we're just having emotions that need to be processed. So, it's a good time to take it easy, take it slow. Spend some time alone at the beach or around any kind of water that you can. But before we get to the message, I want to talk about last week's message, which was about love. The message to contemplate was, what if you loved as if you've never been hurt before? And the message that I got from that one was, when you've been hurt, sometimes we close off parts of our heart. So we tend to love differently than we would have loved before. And we tend to accept different things that we would have accepted before we got hurt. For example, we might not want to let someone go who is abusive because we just really want someone in our lives after being hurt before. We just kind of want to have a win, is what I'm getting. But the message that I got after contemplating, what if I hadn't been hurt before? What if I loved as if I hadn't been hurt before? Was, if I take the time to really nurture and love on myself and really get my self-love as high as it can be, as great as it can be, if I really take the time to pour into myself, unlike I've ever done before, unlike anyone else has ever done before, that will be my baseline of what love is. So I will literally be teaching myself what love is so that I will understand this is love. The other stuff that I've experienced was not love. That's why it hurt, because it wasn't love, or it wasn't the type of love that I want to receive. I want better, and so I'm going to give it to myself so I can teach myself. So it's like a period of learning. You need to learn what love is so that you're not accepting anything else. So the message that I got was about learning what love is after being hurt, so that I can love as if I've never been hurt, because the type of love that I'm asking for is completely different than what I've received before. Okay, that was from last week's message, so let's get into this week's message about, what if we looked at the cup being half full instead of half empty? Okay, here's this week's message to contemplate. What if you looked at the glass half full instead of half empty? So I talked about it still being Mercury retrograde until June 9th, and how some things are just coming up from the past. And in this instance, I really feel that the things that are coming up, that are triggering us, that we're really, really sensitive about right now, have to do with our childhood and perhaps some instability or dissatisfaction we felt in our childhood. Some things that we wish could have happened then maybe have come up again, and just the same trigger, like, oh no, this is feeling familiar. I'm feeling very sensitive around this issue. So to me, it has to do with stability. But stability is a very broad term. It could be in your financial stability. It can be in your home stability. It can even be in your mental stability. We are in Gemini season, so we might tend to be a little bit more in our minds. It could be like thoughts banging around everywhere, just bouncing around everywhere. So we could definitely use being grounded more, being outside more, again, being by the water more, to help release those emotions. And of course, if you're getting triggered in ways that you really need help with, please go see a professional, a therapist, a life coach, someone that you can talk to who can give you some wise advice. All right, so let's get started with the reading. The first row here is the first column is the Six of Cups, the Page of Wands, and Renewal, which is the Judgment card. And this row is talking all about the things from the past coming up. Childhood, revisiting your old dreams or plans is what this card says. So this was reminding me, especially with this little boy holding this daisy or this marigold. It's yellow. It's reminding me of something that was saved in childhood. So, like maybe we had some gifts of our childhood. Like some kids were really good at joking around, right? So they could perhaps be a comedian as an adult. But in childhood, as a child, it was not so appropriate to be joking so much. Or it could have been something that, as you got older, you were like, well, let me be more serious so that I can fit in. So it could be something from your childhood that you were very good at back then, or was a natural talent of yours that could have been suppressed or repressed. But now it's coming back up. It's coming back up to be looked at. It's coming back up to be utilized, possibly. And to me, that is what the glass half full is coming from. So the triggers that could be coming up for you right now surrounding this is, if we go back to the example of the being a jokester, you may be triggered by telling certain jokes and remember how in the past you were ridiculed or called dumb or the class clown or etc. for being a jokester. So that just might be something that's coming up and triggering you to be to allow you to push past it. This card is the renewal card, again the judgment, so it's like it's bringing it back up. It's bringing it back up to be looked at again. So this next column here is the Ace of Wands, the Knight of Wands, and release. Again, it's all about things from the past coming back up, but this time it's different. It's like this thing that is coming up is like a gift. Again, I said it was a gift here, but the gift this time has been isolated. And it's like, oh, this is the gift. Oh, this is the gift from all those jokes I was telling as a kid. I'm really good at pointing out certain things and aspects about people because I was very observant when I was joking. I was very observant. I'm thinking about Kevin Hart and his story and how he, was short, so he got picked on all the time. So he developed a really quick wit, and now he's a very talented comedian. So the gift has been isolated now, and there's an opportunity to move forward with that gift. But it's saying here in the cards, to release all of the negative. This is the death card. Release the negative, release the things, the fears surrounding that gift. This is the death card, but look how beautiful this card is. It's like a gift to release the things that are holding you back from utilizing your gift, holding you back from accepting your gift. It's like daisies, or sorry, I don't know why I keep saying daisies, but maybe that's a flower that someone really resonates with, but these kind of look like white roses to me. But it's like releasing all of those negative things, all that trauma that was surrounding your gift in childhood will allow you to isolate it and use it for good, or use it for, for yourself. If you like to joking around with people without feeling guilty, or being able to deeply look at people, look into them, and say something nice about them, perhaps, instead of, downing them. But being able to isolate that gift as, oh, I joked a lot, but it was my way of communicating with people, really understanding what that gift meant to you and how it can help you move forward right now in your life currently. So next we have the Sun, the Ten of Cups, and the Five of Pentacles. So this to me is about illumination, shining the light on what positive things that gift can bring. Again, instead of looking at it as a cup half empty, looking at it as a cup half full. Looking at your gift as something that you can use for your benefit, not your detriment. So it's like illuminating that. It's giving you ideas. It's like the things that are being brought up that are triggering you right now that you've been looking at as negative, the sun is going to shine on them, so you'll see the positive aspects of that. It's interesting because when I think the sun shining on the darkness, I think of shadow work. So perhaps that's what you're going through right now. Maybe the things that are triggering you are bringing up more stuff. Like something, maybe the triggers that you're having are something that you've thought you've worked through already, but then even more things come up. I'm getting an image of When I was a kid, we in class one time we were learning about diets, and we were learning about our food. And I remember learning about cereal, and I think it was Cheerios. And they were saying that in our cereal there is iron. There's little pieces of iron, but you couldn't see the iron unless you took the cereal and crunched it up in a bag, crunched it up into little grain-sized pieces in a bag, and then took a magnet and then pulled out the little iron pieces. So in this case, what we're going through right now is the crunching up in the bag so that we can be the magnets, or we can ask for help and have someone else help us be magnets to pull out the rest of the gifts, let's say, to pull out the iron that is inside of us or inside the Cheerios. So it's like there's a need for the crunching up process to happen in order to get the iron out. Otherwise, you won't be able to get it out of the Cheerio. The Cheerio is solid. So we're going through a little crunching up right now. But it's going to lead us to our 10 of Cups, which is emotional fulfillment. This card says a happy marriage, happily ever after, emotional contentment, a loving relationship with your children, raising children wisely and successfully, people you can trust. But to me, it's all about emotional fulfillment. Think about your cup being full, your cup being your emotional body. So you being, maybe not your emotional body, but your positive emotions. You being full to the brim of positivity, of love, like you feeling full, like you're living your best life. And then the 5 of Pentacles. This one is about change to me. It's about change from, it's like you're literally at the between point between the old and the new. But I really like this card because it shows this angel holding this woman's head. And to me, it's this angel helping. It's like helping work out whatever's in that brain of hers. The angel is helping out to make this process smoother. He's helping to even protect her mind from outside things, like from negativity coming from the outside. It's like there's a process that's going on right now, and this lady, she needs all of her power, all of her skills, all of her mental ability to work on this. She does not have time for any extra drama, so she's being protected from the outside world right now. Again, that might be mean or look like for you spending more time alone, just being led to stay home more rather than going out partying or hanging out with your friends. It might also mean to you, I was even thinking going to church or going to some kind of spiritual gathering just to help you get into that mindset, help you change. It's like changing your environment. Maybe if you go out and party more, going out and socializing in a more spiritual way. So even doing something like ecstatic dance or going to a gathering or a women's circle, a men's circle, something like that to help you unravel and release the things that are in your mind. And then for the outcome here, this is the 9 of Wands. Then we have the Star and the 4 of Pentacles. So and the message to contemplate is, what if we looked at the glass half full instead of half empty? If the glass was half full, if you wanted to protect the things that it was, if the glass was half full, you would want to protect those gifts because they're gifts to you now, right? Instead of things to be embarrassed about or things to be pushed to the side or things that, I just did that when I was a kid. Instead of, pushing those things to the side or minimizing those things, it's like you will be now celebrating those things and you would protect them, because I saw protect what you have created. You will protect them, so you won't allow anybody to dish you. Like if you were a jokester and you say jokes and people have a problem with that, to say, this is my personality. There's no need for you to attack me for this. I can understand if you don't like it, but please don't attack me. But, you being more protective of yourself because you understand that this is something that is a gift to you, something that is important to you, and something that's worth being expressed. And so you won't allow people to come for you in that way. And maybe that's another thing that kept you suppressing that gift because you may have been embarrassed or shy about it. Didn't know what people were going to say. But now you're like, you know what? This is my gift. So this is me, you guys. This is who I am. If you got something to say, it doesn't matter because I believe in myself. I love myself. And this is a part of who I am. So really standing up and standing behind yourself. And then seeing this Star card is really helping me understanding like you putting more into it. Like you kind of starting to develop it. You testing it out, seeing, hey, how can I make this thing work for me? How can I integrate this better into my life? How can I, take this every day instead of something that I used to do and be embarrassed about? So maybe I hid it. How can I just, put it out there for everyone to see and make it a part of my daily, regular life where it's something, it could have been like a hobby that you pushed to the side. If you make candles or something like that, it could be something that you now talk about, something that you now post about online, something that you now tell your friends and, give them a sample of a candle to smell, to take home. Like, hey, do you like the scents that I've created? But something that you're really testing out and you're working on integrating into your everyday, regular life. And then we've got the Four of Pentacles. This is about, to me, it's about also, again, with the protection, knowing who to share these gifts with, knowing, the time and place to bring them out. And again, with the integrating it into your regular everyday life. Once you make it more normal to yourself, it's easier for you to bring it out for others to see. I know when I first started doing tarot readings, I didn't really want people to know about it because I was really embarrassed and shy, and I didn't think I was that good. And so it took me a long time of practicing, and then asking if I could read some of my friends, and then reading other people, and then testing out, okay, can I do collective readings? Like really taking that time to practice, taking that time to build up my skills before I just decided, hey, I'm going to do this, for a career. I'm going to do this as a job. I really took the time to practice that first. Whereas some people, or instead of, I guess, just putting it out there that I do readings when I haven't really practiced and studied and understood tarot cards and oracle decks and things like that. So to me, this is building up your skills before you put them out there for the world, starting to integrate them into your everyday life. That is the advice for actually looking at the glass half full instead of half empty. So to wrap up this reading, it's talking about the triggers mainly. The things that are triggering you, instead of allowing them to continue to trigger you, stopping and facing the triggers and saying, all right, I see you, trigger. Again, if you need help with this, please get help. Talk to a therapist. But saying, okay, trigger, I see you. You have been triggering me for a while. I see some new things have come up. But instead of me running away from this, let me look at it and see what gifts that it's trying to give me. Because I've always believed this, that when things come up, when we need to go through something, when we're feeling sensitive and emotional, there is something on the other side of that. There's something that's asking to be looked at, to be shown to you so that you can see, hey, this actually isn't so scary. It's actually okay for me to be a funny person. It's okay for me to have jokes and be hilarious. It's okay for me to deeply observe others and say a kind joke about it. You can joke in your own way. Everyone has their own style. But perhaps in the past things weren't so kind because you were immature, you didn't know. And now, growing up, you've learned, okay, this is how I like to joke. This is how I'm going to do it. So looking at the gifts on the other side of that trigger, that pain from the past, from doing whatever gift that you have in that immature way, now you're older, now it's come back to you and it's asking to be looked at, and it's asking you to transform it from that lower vibrational, childish way of doing what you were doing to a more mature way. And you can do that by looking more into integrating it into your everyday life. So practicing, understanding how you and the gift works. And just figuring out how to express it now as an adult rather than how you were expressing as a child. Also, I was getting the message of dissatisfaction in life because you're not where you want to be. And again, looking at the glass half full instead of half empty. You may not be where you want to be right now today, but this is a journey. Life is a journey. Where were you 1 year ago? Where were you 2 years ago? And then continue to work forward and move forward on that. And also, again, with the gifts, it might be time, this dissatisfaction may be coming up because it's time to level up. It's time to continue to do something better than you were doing it last time, better than you're doing it now. giving yourself more of a challenge. So looking out there, seeking out there, and figuring out, okay, what's next? What's next? How can I do this better? How can I integrate even more of myself into my work? How can I put even more of myself into my relationships? How can I be more authentic in the things that I am doing? And again, we are like, I got a lot of sensitivity in these cards. So emotions everywhere, sensitivity everywhere. So being gentle with yourself throughout this process. And the song that leads me to the song for this time, which is Emotions by Destiny's Child. Saying it's just emotions taking me over. So when I was thinking about this song and kind of listening to it in my head, it's talking about someone coming back, come home, come back, come home to me, darling. Don't you know there's nobody else in this world that can hold me tight? And to me, it was a song being sang to you, the adult, from your inner child. It's like, I need you to come and fix and correct. Like this, I have this gift that I really want to share with the world. I really want to share it, but I need you to help me express it as an adult instead of as a child. I can't, as an adult, I'm not able to joke around like I used to do as a child. Like my childish jokes are no longer appropriate. I mean, they wouldn't even be funny for an adult to say. I need you to help me integrate these gifts. So that's what I'm getting from the song Emotions. It's like, hey, come back, come home to me. Like, come to me and help me express these gifts. Help me express this thing, which is so sweet. I love it. Okay, thank you all so much for listening to this message to contemplate. Please let me know in the comments what you think. If you would like a reading from me, I do readings here at the Boom Bookstore, which is in Kauai, Hawaii. I do readings on Thursdays from 5 to 6:30. You can schedule online, or you can come into the store and get a reading. So virtual readings, just like this YouTube video, or online in the store. Just go to thewombbookstore.com to schedule. Okay, thank you all so much, and I hope this message helps you.